I saw people like loading up on all the toilet paper and paper towels, and I actually wanted to buy a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and I couldn't find one. So that got me to thinking that, did I really need that alcohol? No, and I'm going to tell you why. Cider vinegar is your best friend. It's just as disinfecting as Lysol or bleach, but bleach is very corrosive and it's very deadly for your brain. So think of it as the disinfectant that won't kill you. So the other thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about, all right, I don't need to do this because I can make cider vinegar, is everybody running out and buying all the cider vinegar. And then what happens? Then what do you do? So I thought I should probably make it, I don't know, a more fulfilling or a more well-rounded episode. So because this is my first time, because I have to do this on my phone, bear with me because it's going to be a lot of goofiness. So everybody, and I might have to like disappear for a second or once in a while, like right now. We all can get the big jugs of cider vinegar at our grocery stores, or white vinegar. For cleaning purposes, it doesn't really matter which one you use. I noticed that my grocery store upped the price, which I was a little disappointed in them, when it became all the rage. So this is what we use, okay? I'm not sure if I should be blackening out the store. I get this for cleaning. I used to buy Bragg's for ingesting because it's not pasteurized and it has the mother in it. The mother is just, it's part of the cider vinegar. It's the thing that ferments it. It is high in protein. It's got that nice acid thing going down, so it keeps your acid levels balanced, if you will. And it's really, really easy to make. So that's the first thing I'm going to show you how to do, because that's all the rage now. So here is my latest batch of cider vinegar, and I think it's probably almost easier to see it this way. See this thing floating right here? That's the mother. The original mother that I put in for my last batch is down here, and see how it's really thick and dark down there? I don't know if anybody saw my post the other day when I was like, look at the size of my mother. And my mother was like, excuse me? So I now have another batch ready to rock and roll. And all you need to do is have a clean glass jar. Where's my funnel? Here it is. And a funnel. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the jar. Cider vinegar, it has so many healthy properties that now it's the rage. Like, remember last year it was all about charcoal? It's like charcoal in your soup, charcoal in your toothpaste, charcoal in your underwear. It's just ridiculous. This year it's rose water. So, see? Beautiful, gorgeous, very tasty. This and a spoonful of honey in the morning is really, really a healthy way to get the good bacteria going, and it can even help you lose weight, but it's not like a miracle thing. You still have to exercise and eat right and take Geritol every morning. So that's going to go in my refrigerator. That leaves me with the end of the bottle. Let's see if I can get a shot in there without pouring it all over creation. That's my glass. Just see if I can empty some more of it out so I can show you. All right. See, just see that white thingy in there? Maybe I'll try to get it out, because normally I would be showing you how to no, not normally. I am going to show you how to start it. Now, if you have a mother, or if you have a friend who has a mother, or even some Bragg's, get the piece of the mother from them. You don't need to really buy the Brags, but if you don't know anybody that has their own batch growing, you will have to buy the Brags at least once. Brags is a brand. It's unpasteurized. So yellow label. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this out so you can see it coming out. See that big ploppy thing that just happened? Kind of gross, but you should see the mother. It's just like thick and it's round and yummy. So for all intents and purposes, the first time I started my first batch of cider vinegar, I had a half gallon of cider that nobody really drank, and I forgot that it was in the closet. And so of course it goes hard, and then what happens after it goes hard is it becomes cider vinegar. So that's great. Then you only have to add water to it. But for the first time, we're going to pretend that this is the cider. I couldn't actually find unpasteurized cider in the grocery store I was in, but this is organic apple juice, and it will work just as fine. So you have this. I poured a little bit out so there was room in it, and then all you have to do, so I'm going to take, look at this. Can you see it? It's saying like who is watching. Hi Kim, hi Carla. Okay, so that's the mother. So I'm just gonna lob a piece of that off. It's actually really rubbery. You'd think you'd just be able to pull your hands right through it and pull it apart, but not so much. Okay, so then you take your little piece of mother and you put it in the bottle. All right, now what you would do, and I'll show you this again with my bigger one because I'm going to have to restart that one. Take a piece of paper towel and put it over the top. I'll show you just a minute. I wish I knew the song or the tune for that when you go to the movies and it goes doo 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 doo. All right, so just put the elastic around it. Okay, see? And then I like to poke a couple holes so the air will get in there. It's the air that's going to increase the bacteria, and the bacteria will be using the mother as its food. So you will take this little thing with all the little holes in the top, and I stick it in the cabinet over the refrigerator for 3 weeks. Then you can strain it out, and you can either start another batch or just leave it in there. That's what I do. I just kind of leave it in there until I run out. And then I have this one. See a little mother in there? This is going to be started from scratchy scratch. So you're going to take this one and you're going to put some water in it. And then for maybe like a week or so, every time somebody eats an apple, take the core, rinse it off, and chuck it in your jar until you have, I don't know, maybe 8 apple cores in there. And then you're going to fill it with water. And then you're going to put your handy dandy little canning thingy on it. And then poke it. Pretend this is full of apple cores and water. And stick it in the cabinet. Now, the cool thing is, apple cider vinegar is one of those kind of perfect foods that God made. It is nutritional, it is medicinal, it is culinary, it is sustainable, because you only need to get the mother once in order to continue making the cider vinegar forever. And I'm for all intents and purposes, I'm doing this as if it has hit the fan. Little commercial break in here. I wrote the book so people would know what to do if it hit the fan. I didn't even think about a pandemic when I have said that 1,000 times. I was thinking Boston bombings, the trade centers, the things that we've already dealt through. Having a pandemic happening, that wasn't even on my purview. So now we're dealing with that. Now the actuality of the reason I wrote the book was to teach people how to live within a mile of their house. We're actually in that time frame right now. So everybody's at the store and they're buying alcohol and they're buying you know, all the toilet paper, they're buying paper towels, and they're buying cleaning products, and they're buying Lysol and hand sanitizer and alcohol so they can make their own hand sanitizer, and it's just nuts. But what happens when all of that stuff runs out? You know, even if you buy your handy dandy jug of cider vinegar, what happens when it runs out? You have to be able to do something about it. You have to be able to create a situation where you are capable of sustaining your life and your family's life. So you run out of apple cider vinegar, you're going to make your own, okay? And that is going to be your disinfectant. It's going to be your medicine. It's going to be your culinary, everything. But I want to show you another way of increasing its strength. All right, so you have your apple cider vinegar in your jar. Take it, we'll do this, we'll do it like this, okay? So you have your squirty thing. You take your apple cider vinegar that's all vinegarized, like this. And get some in the bottom here. Oops, wait a minute, this thing is like half full of water. Hi. Okay, so you're going to put some apple cider vinegar in your squirty bottle that has some water in it as well. All right? Then you're going to take a couple of sprigs of oregano. And if you have this in your inside or garden, that's great. If you don't worry about it. Go get some. Take a couple sprigs of oregano and thyme. It's an eeny meeny one. So a couple of those. Stuff those in there. Get in there. And rosemary. Now, why, you ask, should I put in these herbs? Because each one of them is an antiviral, an antiseptic, an antibacterial, and an anti-inflammatory. So that's why we're going to do it. And you could also put in a couple of cloves of garlic because, again, garlic is anti-everything. So then here you go. You put your squirty thingy back on, and then you start wiping down light switches and doorknobs, and you can even use this as your own hand sanitizer. It's that good. So it's going to take the properties of all of those plants and put it into your cider vinegar, making a really strong disinfectant. Now, going with the whole premise that we can only go to the store once to get these supplies, whatever will we do? Well, you take these, you take your little plant, stick it in a glass of water, and let it root. After it roots, you plant it, and voila! Through the magic of television, you have a rosemary plant that you can harvest from all the time. Not only are these things good for disinfecting, they're actually also very good for healing. Thyme is great for congestion. All these other ones are rosemary, oregano. They're all really strong anti-inflammatories. So if you've got a boo-boo, you can use that topically, or you can ingest it. If you have like inside inflammation, like fibromyalgia, it was a long time ago that it actually worked for me. You can drink this in a tea. You boil your water, put your leaves in the cup, pour the boiling water over it, let it steep for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you have a really strong anti-inflammatory tea. Okie dokie. So that's yet another way that we now are empowered to take care of our family, create the cleaning, create the medicine, and we had to only go to the store once. So while everybody else is running around buying all the toilet paper, you are just going and you're getting weird things. Like you're going to go get the herbs, you're going to get 1 bottle of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar, it doesn't really matter. If you have lavender plants at home, that if you're one of those cray people that just go and buy your essential oils from a gas station, you might have that. And you can put that all together into your squirty bottle or your hand sanitizer bottle. I have some hand sanitizer that I got at Walmart, and it was alcohol and lavender. and I ran out of it because, did I tell you about the other day when I was grocery shopping and this woman was squatting down at the sugar and I was waiting to get chocolate chips and she sneezed all over everything. It was so disgusting. And when she stood up, I was standing there like, and she goes, sorry. Yes, that's me yelling at you to cover your mouth when you're in the grocery store. So it occurred to me that I could make my own alcohol, cider vinegar, and lavender, a couple drops of this. You can add the rosemary essential oil, oregano, tea tree. Tea tree is another one that is very anti-viral, antifungal, very strong antifungal, and antibacterial. But here's the deal: we don't have a tea tree plant around here, so we have to go with what we have. So before it actually hits the fan, you're going to want to stock up on a few things. You want to get a couple of lavender plants and baby the heck out of them. You're going to want to put in an herb garden that, is for food as well as medicinal and cleaning. These are the real true ways of being prepared for this stuff, like pandemics and being isolated. You also want to get a plan for your medication. An example is I have to take levothyroxine every day for the rest of my life because I have no thyroid gland. So I asked my endocrinologist, well, what was I going to do if it hit the fan? And she said, well, you'll last a couple of months. And I said, well, I want to last more than that. And so she said, well, I would have to get some sheep. So I actually have that plan in place. If I can't get my prescription filled because, we can't go anywhere, I will, and well before this actually, I will buy 2 ewes and 2 rams and they will have babies. And not only will we have lamb meat, I will also have their thymuses. It's not ideal, but it beats dying after 2 months. So if you are somebody who has a medication issue, you probably want to talk to your doctor about making a plan. Like I literally just got my prescription filled, but I called the doctor and said, could I get another 3-month supply, just in case? So that's the cider vinegar and the disinfectant. If you want to, you can take one of these things and take some handy dandy paper towels, fold them in half, stick them in your little thing, pour your cleaning cider vinegar and oils on it, and there you have wipey things. But let's face it, if it really hits the fan, are you going to be worried about having paper towels? No, because you know that there's a rag somewhere in the house that you can use. That's another thing we need to keep in our mind, is that people were living without all of this stuff about 70 years ago. And yeah, we didn't have long life expectancy, but we also didn't have to use all that other junk. Excuse me just a moment, please. Can I help you? Shh. No, mommy's working. No. If you're a good girl, you can have a cookie later. Lay down. Good girl. She's a silly girl. Bip, 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 bip. Shh. No talking. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. The other day when I was in the grocery store, I got this huge bag of ginger for like $1.30. And so I decided to bring it home and process it because I was almost out of my culinary ginger. But we're juicing right now, so it's good to have extra. And all you have to do is take it and slice it into thin slices. And one night after you're finished using the oven, just put that all on a cookie sheet and shut the oven off, put it in the oven, shut the door. By the next morning, you'll have nice little dried things that you can then grind. Ginger is also really good for your stomach, so you can actually put some in a canning jar. And somebody's got a tummy ache, somebody has the flu, just take a couple of slices and put it in some water and steep it like it's a tea bag, and that will help settle their stomach. It's really good for inflammation, so again, you can add this with all of the other stuff and use it medicinally, culinarily. The new rage amongst the cider vinegar is also turmeric. which is very disappointing because I used to get it for $3 in Walmart, and then they got on the bandwagon, and it was like $15. So, but you can get turmeric tubers. They look kind of like this, only they're a little smaller, and there's kind of slightly more of an orange. Shush. You're not going outside because it's 3:30, and you know that Fiona takes her walk at 3:30. So put a sock in it, doggy. However, you can put the ginger or the turmeric in a cool, dry place, and just like potatoes, it will start to grow eyes. See these little white thingies? Peanut Gallery is disappointed she can't go bark at Fiona. See these little white things right here? Those are roots that are starting to grow, or eyes, if you will. This is not getting sliced. This is getting put into dirt, and I'm going to grow my own ginger. Ta-da! Now you don't have to go buy a ginger anymore. The whole purpose of what I'm trying to allow people to do, and what I do with teaching people what's edible in their backyard and within a mile of their house, is to make it possible to limit your dependency on stores or Amazon or, whatever, that you are able to live within a mile of your house and thrive. I also teach people to find their own non-meat source of protein. I would show you mine, but you've all heard about it. It's my white acorn flour. I'd show it to you, except for I have the phone actually balanced on the top of it. So a couple more things before this episode is done. And the next thing is honey. Ta 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 ta. Oh, it's backwards. It looks backwards to me. So I hope it's frontwards for you. This is from my friend Jack's farm. It's Honeymoon Hill bees, and he makes lip thingies, chapstick and beauty products and all sorts of things with it, and it's really, really tasty. Another perfect food. It has all of the nutrients and the antibacterial, antifungal of all of the other things, but it's sweet and it tastes good. Let me just tell you about this. No, think this, because this is wild. If you have allergies, outside allergies that come in the spring, and you don't listen to my PSAs on using BioL as homeopathic tinctures, you can take a teaspoon of honey. Now, we all know that baby's got to be over 1 before that, but after that, you can just use this. The whole way it works is, think of this, the bees fly all the way around, like in a 30-mile radius. They're picking up pollen, their little piggy toes, and they're making the honey with it. So that means that the honey actually has the property of all of the plants in your area. That's why I always say get local honey. If you are using honey that is, a couple miles up the road, then you're having a product that already has your environment in it. So your body doesn't have to assimilate to it. It's already knows them, which is why, like, if you move, your allergies might get worse because those are new trees, those are new plants to your body, and they might be pine here, pine there, but it's new to you. So taking a teaspoon of this every day is like having an allergy shot. It also is a very strong antibacterial. This is the new Neosporin. This is the new bacitracin, word from our generation. Just a little dot under your boo-boo, put a bandage on, kiss somebody on the top of their head and give them a pat-pat and tell them all better, and they will get all better. You could actually even use this for wart removal. If you don't have garlic, you can just take a little bit of this, put it on the wart, put the Band-Aid over it, and bing bang, Bob's your uncle, your wart will go away. So, oh no is right. While I'm thinking about it, I just was looking over and I saw my whole bowl of lemons. Home Depot sold lemon trees last year, and the Burgess catalog came out, and as much as I don't really like the idea of them monkeying around with the plants so they can live up here in the north, they have a lot of these plants like citrus that used to only be in the warmer climates are now grown for zones 5 and 6. So that's good. You get that, and you now have a vitamin C source that you go to. And you don't have to cry because you can't find wild cranberries. And and just strawberries, those are also a source of vitamin C. So that's today's episode. If I was confusing, just let me know how more clear I could be. Be nice. This was my first one, and I'm going to be learning how to do podcasts, like actual podcasts, but there's way too many words. I couldn't understand what they were saying. So maybe Noah or William will come over and help me learn how to do it. He'll say he doesn't know. So that's pretty much it on the cleanliness part. I think that's all I wanted to say when I saw everybody buying up all the toilet paper, except for think about things. If you're only going to be able to get certain things, think about the things that you can create as a sustainable source for yourself and your family. You don't need paper towels. Pretend that it's like the 1930s and 40s. Pretend it's the 1840s, because all of those people were able to survive and thrive very well without paper towels and, all the bells and whistles that we have now. It's going to separate the men from the boys. It's totally going to stretch you and do something that hasn't been done in a very long time and for very many generations. We're going to have to figure stuff out. We may not be able to just go to Google or say, hey Google, tell me how to, wash my hair. We're going to have to stretch, and we're going to have to figure things out. We're going to have to work hard. We're going to have to get dirty. But at the end of the day, you will be capable of taking care of yourself and your family, and that's even more awesome and more empowering. So if you have any ideas for future podcasts, like if you want me to tell you about, I don't know, like more medicinal herbs and plants that are growing in the yard, send me a note. I am saying this, but I feel kind of weird about it. I moved my book from one publisher to another because I was getting like 69 cents as a royalty for a $38 book that I couldn't even afford. I'm moving it back. I can get them, and I get them for very little money, so then I can resell them. I felt really weird about this because I thought, this is really this is the information in my book. This is why I wrote the book, this exact situation. But then I kind of felt like I was taking advantage of the situation. So I'm thinking that half of what I get for the purchase of a book, I will donate to a charity. And if anybody can think of one that's sort of relevant to this whole natural living thing, maybe something that helps people who are less fortunate glean the information, or maybe I will do if I sell 5 books, I'll give away 5 books to people who maybe not able to afford them. I think I like that idea. Let me know what you think of that. And as soon as I figure this whole thing out, or what the next topic is, I will be doing this again. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Oh, look at this. It's telling me to wave to everybody. Wave to Carla. Wave to Sheila. Wave to Dave. And someone else. Who is that? Who else? Whoever it is up there. Wave. And I'm finished. So this is your happy modern pioneer wishing you empowerment and everyone near you covering their mouths. Bye.